Well,
Yeah, Bob.
coming out with a bunch of Star Wars movies.
Yeah, not sure how I feel about that.
So there's three main ones.
What they're gonna do is they're gonna do the main trilogy, your standard Star Wars trilogy, episodes 7, 8, and 9, starting with The Force Awakens later this year. And then in between the movies, they're gonna do, I guess, smaller movies, focusing on either one character, like his history, or another thing happening far off in the universe somewhere else.
So you think they're going to release the first one after episode 7?
The first spin-off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be episode 7 spin-off, and then probably episode 8, and then spin-off.
Yeah. Well, they've already got two directors for the spin-offs. They got Gareth Edwards, who did Godzilla, supposed to direct
The new Godzilla.
The new Godzilla, who's he's going to direct the first spin-off. And then you have Josh Trank, who did Chronicle, and who's ruining the Fantastic Four, doing the second spin-off.
Great. So we think the first one's going to be Boba Fett, right?
That's the rumor. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be Boba Fett.
And what's this? So we think that's the guy who did Godzilla. He's going to do that one.
The Gareth Edwards one is the Boba Fett one.
Okay.
The Josh Trank one, and again, this is all speculation, but it's rumored that it's essentially going to be sort of a Star Wars version of Seven Samurai.
What does that mean?
You never seen Seven Samurai, right?
No.
Seven Samurai is this classic samurai movie. It's like 4 hours long, but it's actually worth it. It's just about a group of samurai who are tasked to defend a village against an oncoming horde of invaders. And it's just the 7 of them against an entire army.
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome. I don't know if we need to see that, though.
I like that idea, but yeah, I don't think that they should make... I don't like the idea of two spin-off Star Wars movies.
Well, again, it's not going to be just those two. There are going to be others. Like they want.
Oh, there's even more.
Yeah, they want to. There's been talks about a Han Solo spin-off. There's been talks about
Isn't that this whole movie? Isn't it all of episode 7? Isn't it just going to be about the Solo kids?
Allegedly, I mean, well, we don't know. People think it's
I don't want to see Harrison Ford.
People think episode 7 is going to be about Luke's hand. So,
Yeah.
But you don't want to see Harrison Ford.
I want to see him for maybe total 5 minutes in the movie.
You would rather it be a glorified cameo.
Yes,
than have him be the focus.
Because I don't want to see his he hasn't been good in anything he's been in lately. He's just been an old crotchety old man.
Yeah, and you don't want.
And that's not Han.
You don't want to see Han Solo mumbling his way through.
Right. He's not Han Solo anymore. Harrison Ford is not Han Solo.
Well, counterpoint to that, if they do a young Han Solo movie, who are they going to get? Nobody is Han Solo.
I don't want to see that either. They won't be able to get anybody good. Forget Han Solo.
They really should.
I'm sorry, but I love Han Solo. Forget it.
They really shouldn't focus on doing characters that we already know. Like, if you're going to do spin-offs, do something completely different. Give us smaller movies. Give us movies we don't think we would want to see in the Star Wars universe. Back when they were going to have that TV show, the live-action TV show, there was all this talk about it was going to be much more like The Sopranos. Give us that. Give us like a mob movie set on Tatooine with, the Hutts and some other rival gang. That would be interesting, but don't give us, the same characters we've been in. Like, they'll make a cameo, I'm sure, but,
I also don't really want to see Boba Fett. I don't want to see, a lot of him, because he's best when he's just like a B character. He's so much more badass if he's mysterious.
All I want to see of Boba Fett is him crawling out of the Sarlacc pit, and then maybe 5 minutes in another movie. That's it. Boba Fett does not need... to take up too much screen time.
Right. He does not need a whole movie.
No.
That doesn't have to happen.
But now, you run into the other side of the coin, where, we don't want to see a Boba Fett movie, or a Han Solo movie, or anything like that. But, there have been some really good Boba Fett-centric comics, and some really good Han Solo-centric novels. And I think that's because... backstory like that works best when it's a smaller medium, like the comics or the video games or the novels and things like that.
Right.
Movies are supposed to be the big thing, so save your big ideas for the movie.
Right. I think that they're like Boba Fett's definitely a B character.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be the focus of anything. Mm-hmm. Han Solo can't be the focus of anything anymore.
Yeah.
He could have been.
I don't even know if he could have been, because because Luke was always the main character.
Yeah.
Han Solo really is a supporting character.
Right.
I mean, the only reason why he became more of a main character in Jedi was because, he had an arc to it throughout all 3 movies.
I would love to see more Luke, even though he's old and shitty. But I still love that character.
I would want to see him only if he's going to be... Only if they're going to do
like
him...
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, as Obi-Wan. Like, him training the next generation of Jedi.
I think that's the only way they could do it.
If they were to do, like, Jedi Academy, make that game a movie...
That's what I want.
And he just pops up every so often to impart words of wisdom.
That's exactly what I want. I want Luke to have a Jedi Academy, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Probably not.
I don't think they're going to take from any of...
No, they're not going
to the expanded.
They're not going to take from the expanded universe, especially because it's not canon anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, that doesn't mean somebody can some Disney executives watching Harry Potter one night and going, "Hey, what if we do Harry Potter, but Jedi's instead of wizards?" Set it in the Yavin Jedi Temple.
That's true.
Yeah, that could
That's
be
like
something.
that would be like a show.
I guess,
but I don't think that would be good either.
Yeah. But. Also, too, that means you'd have to cast Kyle Katarn, who would...
we need Kyle Katarn.
I know.
We need him.
I know. He's just... He's the glue that holds the expanded universe together.
What's that guy that they got?
Oscar Isaacs?
Yeah, he would have made a great Kyle Katarn.
Yeah, no, he's some X-Wing pilot, which is fine, but... we just have to...
We need Kyle Katarn because we need to show everybody that not all Jedis are
peaceful, loving. Some of them are
super badass. Yeah. He's like right down the middle. He's the perfect mix of
hopefully
of good and bad.
Hopefully, Rian Johnson, who's making episode 8, 9, can put some Kyle Katarn in his movies.
Could borrow a lot from him.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if there is a new Jedi Academy or Luke's teaching a bunch of people, hopefully he changes the Jedi Order.
That's what he did in the expanding universe.
Right. I want that at least. I want him to have change. I want him to change the way that they do stuff.
I'm sure they're gonna
because he's the only one left.
I'm sure they're gonna touch on that in the film. But
do you think they would do that in the film? Do you think that they would have him change the way that
it's not going to be the same as it was, in the old Dark Horse comics. It's not going to be like that. But when they do it, they're gonna have Luke make changes here and there.
Right.
I mean, who knows what those changes would be. There is a fan theory going around that the reason why Luke was able to beat Vader is because he pretty much didn't listen to Obi-Wan and Yoda. Because they were the old guard Jedi, and everything that they, followed was wrong, and that's the reason why they all got wiped out.
Right.
This new generation, starting with Luke, did things differently, and that's why he was able to succeed.
That's a good theory. I like that. I like how in the expanded universe, after episode 6, after Luke starts teaching all these other Jedis, they stop giving a fuck about the Jedi abilities that they have. Like, only Siths could use the choke and the lightning.
Yeah.
But Luke was like, forget all that. Do whatever you want. Use whatever you can from the Force because it's all good.
Well, yeah, because I think Luke realized that placing restrictions on things didn't really help anybody.
Right.
Restricting emotions, restricting thoughts and
He's
things
like the
that.
cool Pope.
Yeah. he let Jedis get married. So
yeah, there you go.
So
because his dad went crazy over it.
Exactly.
so he was like, we should probably have them be able to get married because if that happened, there would be no Death Star and the planets would still be here.
Yeah. So
anyway, we don't want these extra spin-off movies. We want the main card.
Yeah,
Star Wars titles.
Episode 7, 8, 9.
No spin-offs.
If you're gonna do spin-offs, relegate them to TV or comics and novels and games,
so we don't have to watch them.
Exactly. I've heard good things about the two of Disney sanctioned books that came out, New Dawn and the Tarkin book. Apparently those are really good. But again, not essential. And, those probably wouldn't have been good. Like, I don't want to see Grand Moff Tarkin's, 6-movie epic saga on the big screen. Right. One book is good enough for that.
Right. So anyway, what do you guys think?
Let us know what you think about the Star Wars spin-offs or just the expanded universe in general.
Or anything we just said, because we said a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Probably going to anger a lot of Star Wars people.
Yeah. Although now that you think about it, it's not technically the expanded universe anymore if it's all in-universe.
Shut up. Leave it in the comments below. Add us on Twitter.
All this social media nonsense.
Like, subscribe. Most importantly, share this video with a friend and subscribe.
Thank you very much for watching.
Have a good week.
I started regularly reading comic books in high school. At the time, I was frequenting a shop called Captain Comics in Plainview, New York. They're unfortunately not around anymore, so I can say without hesitation that they kind of sucked.
First, whether I tell you to or not, you gotta go online and you're gonna rant. On Twitter, on forums, on message boards, on comment sections,